Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. Sorry about my voice. I had a bit of something, I don't know what it was yesterday. But don't worry about it. I feel 100% better today, and I'll probably feel even more tomorrow. While I was sitting, basically doing nothing, I had the time to start going through the news in the world, which is something I like to do just to keep myself informed. Now, of course, any day that you decide to pick, you're going to wind up with some sort of discussion over the United States Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. We discussed that before. I don't want to tread over harsh territory. The argument is, if they passed gun control legislation, then the next step is they will ban arms and come and confiscate them. Well, the Republic of Iran has shown us that is a complete falsehood. It doesn't happen that way. Let me explain how. Government of Iran has just passed legislation banning cats and dogs. You're not allowed to have them. They didn't post a registration act. They didn't post any amendments. They just went ahead and straight up banned them. Dogs and cats, household pets. They may ask why they would be banning cats and dogs. Maybe there's a good reason for it. Maybe because of all the mess they leave, maybe owners are not picking up after themselves. But no, because dogs and cats represent Westernization. They represent outside influences. This is where I kind of have trouble following their logic. First of all, where do you think Persian cats come from? Iran. Yes, that's where Iran was Persia for many, many years. I have a feeling after all is said and done, they might go back to that name. But they're literally banning their own breed. It makes no sense. Right now, what people are doing is, if they have a dog, they're not taking them out for a walk. Oh, that's the other thing. They're not taking them out for a walk, and they're having to home make food for their various pets. Do you know why? Because they've also banned the import of dog and cat food. Now, this at least they have a good reason for, because it costs Iran US dollars to buy that food. And they have to import it from Australia and places like that. This kind of makes sense to me, although why these Iranian officials didn't decide, hey, this would be a good time to subsidize an industry in our country so that we can make the pet food, we can make the money, and we have lots of people who are happy to get it at probably a cheaper price. No, that logic does not make sense. So they have decided what they are going to do is ban dogs and cats and the food for them. Supposedly it's all pets, whether it be bunnies, whether it be whatever have it, you're not allowed to own them. The funny part to this is it's an Islamic hardline government. And I do not say this insultingly, and please don't think I'm trying to insult Iran here. I'm trying to document. But in Islam, cats are held to be a bit sacred because they have a legend where the Prophet Muhammad once cut off his own sleeve because he didn't want to disturb the cat that was sleeping on it. Dogs have been everywhere worldwide for 10, 20,000 years, possibly more. So how is this Westernization to have a dog and a cat? I'm pretty sure, I haven't gone through it, but I'm pretty sure if I do the research, I could probably find ancient references to having dogs. Matter of fact, I think even the Epic of Gilgamesh, I would be able to find dogs. I haven't looked through it at the present time. It's a long book and I can't find my copy of it. But yeah, that's how westernized cats and dogs are, is it's a traditional thing in the Middle East to have them. A lot of tribes in the Middle East, well, actually, Iran's not in the Middle East. I should not say that. But a lot of tribes in Iran have traditionally been pastoral. What does that mean? That means they herded goats and sheep and other such animals. Do you know what the perfect animal is so that you can do all that? Dogs. What cats are great for, except for my big lazy thing. Cats are good for hunting down and killing insects, rats, mice, and all the other things you don't want. Except for mine. So, when it comes to seizing your guns, because they're making you register things, if they want to, they're going to do it. There's nothing that you can do to stop them. When you say, oh, I'm going to hole up in my house and, they can try to take them from my cold, dead hands. I can assure you it will be from your cold, dead hands. Because if the police don't get to you, the SWAT team will. And if the SWAT team can't get to you, local military can. And you can't compete with the firepower the government has. If they can ban cats and dogs by fiat, just saying, this is our decree from on high, dogs and cats are no longer acceptable, and that's the end of the story. You might think you have a right to such things, but you don't. Ultimately, it doesn't take a heck of a lot to convince enough people to say, hey, let's do this, because Iran does have a parliament. They do have a supreme leader, the Ayatollah, but he still has to go before Parliament and say, hey, this is what I want to happen. Now, very few people will be foolish enough to stand up to the Ayatollah, but the same token, they could have. And the fact that they feel justified in banning household animals, I mean, we here in the West have an idea of therapy dogs and therapy cats. And it's true. When you need a little bit of comfort, what's better than a little animal that loves you with all of its heart? It didn't say whether it bans like goldfish and stuff like that, but some people even get satisfaction from talking to a goldfish. And maybe that's what they're going to do. There's going to be a big influx of therapy animals in Iran saying, I need this dog, cat, whatever. But the police are out there watching you on the streets. If you walk your dog, they're going to take the dog from you. They'll put them in a doggy concentration camp. They're calling them relocation centers. Thing is, if it's illegal to own them, where the heck do you relocate them to? And as we know from our own humane society, yeah, lots of those dogs and cats simply never find homes. It's regrettable, but it's reality. We deal in reality. Given the way dogs and cats breed, I wonder how they honestly expect to enforce this. I mean, it would be like trying to ban chickens. Chickens have a life cycle that's pretty darn quick, and they can multiply and multiply and multiply. And even if you crack down on one breeder, there'll be 3 others popping up with theirs because there's a demand in the market. People want to have their little pet. Now, I think this may signal something a bit more severe. They admitted they didn't have enough money to keep importing pet food from overseas. But I'm wondering if this means they don't have enough money to feed their people. That is possible. And I mean, if you were that badly off, it would make sense to say, okay, no more dogs and cats because we don't have any spare food for them. But you wouldn't want to tell the people that. You would come up with some ridiculous explanation, like it was westernizing you. Governments never tell the whole truth. They tell the part of the truth they want you to believe. And they seem like they're doing this great thing for their people. Well, I think we can agree they're not. And given that Iran is supporting Russia at the present time, and Iran's been under sanctions forever and a day, I think they might be hurting more than we think. Russia might want to take notice, because those sanctions do add up. So with that, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. Hopefully your dog or cat is safely being taken care of, and you have enough food for it, and you have enough love for it. If you like this video, please like it, share, subscribe. Don't forget to purchase one of the books down in the description, and we hope you have a fantastic day.